Well, another year has come and gone, and in doing so, it has given the builders of Terra 1912 the chance to once again build some of the best Minecraft builds ever seen in game. In this video, I'll be showcasing the top 10 builds of 2023, as voted for by the builders themselves. So let's see who got that top spot and enjoy some of the builds shown across this video. In at number 10 we have a Bunker Hill and Angel's Flight, built by Bergie and Ozzy in Bergie's town of San Alexandro. They've written a little blurb to explain this area. The Victorian bastion of upper-class homes in San Alexandro. While not entirely complete, the hill features homes across the state of California, such as the John Myers home, McHenry Mansion, the Castle, Bradbury Mansion, and lastly, the Crocker Mansion. Based off Bunker Hill in Los Angeles, the hill also features grand apartments, a rooftop bar, and a means of getting up the hill, i.e. the Angel Flights, which is a lovely vernacular railway, which is really well done in Minecraft, even with the very angled car going up there. But still, what a wonderful area of mansions. These really capture the early 20th century very well, and they look great in game with a nice shader on and that sunset going through. With that done, our journey to number 1 has begun. Now, at number 9, we have Lyford Cathedral and Bishop's Palace, built by Lord Goblin Esquire. And Goblin describes this build as the crowning jewel of the Lyford skyline, a Victorian Gothic cathedral based on a competition proposal by the architect R.H. Carpenter for Manchester Cathedral. Lyford Cathedral sits atop a commanding view of the Avon, almost directly opposite the Chambers of Commerce. The medieval Bishop's Palace sits on the bank of the Avon with delightful views from the garden up towards the cathedral. This place is glorious, this building is beautiful, and not just that, the building is actually half built in game, so Goblin's been able to feature so much life and detail in here with the construction still happening in game, and it's been great. We've got cranes, we've got workmen going around, there is a dynamic feeling to the building. It's a wonderful addition to the server and it's just beautiful. So Goblin, excellent, number 9 there for your cathedral. In at number 8 we have the Yashima build by Byzantine and Akira. This newish addition to the server brings some Japanese style to the world in a realistic way. They have written me a little blurb on the build so far. Yashima is a big project based on Kyoto, started by Byzantine and Akira less than 2 months ago. So far we have focused on the Yakuza ward, featuring over 70 buildings with the pagoda as its centerpiece. You'll see a lot of iconic Edo period buildings from Kyoto here. In 2024 we plan to work our way up onto the Gaizamo Dera temple and start on the gridded centre of the city. We can't wait to take you along on the journey, and a happy new year from Byzantine and Akira. Well, there we go, that's a lovely little blurb, and this place is perfect. It really does encapsulate the realistic style of that early 20th century Japan. It hadn't long opened up to the Western world, and I can't wait to see what happens with this place over the next 12 months. So it's so lovely to walk around here, but please, if you want to see it sort of as a bit more of a tour, then please check out the end of 2023 server update tour, the showcase video. You'll see me walk around this place, and it's also been featured in a few of the pub crawls from last year as well. Dave! It's like lovely Japanese, isn't it?
Whoa, what?
Where did that come from?
It's a firework.
It's like a shuriken being thrown at us from somewhere, and I'm sure we'll be getting out there and walking around this place soon enough in the upcoming server update tour for January. Moving on to number 7, the Statue of Liberty, built by Dev and Solar. Now, they have this to say about the build. The Statue of Liberty welcomes visitors to the industrious city of Neuburg in the United Territories of the Commonwealth. The statue itself was designed by French sculptor Frédéric Ostig Bartholdi and was originally entitled Liberty Enlightening the World. Dev McClego worked tirelessly to precisely emulate the delicate appearance of draped fabric on the statue. Despite the challenges of a small scale and limited block selection, the statue's base, designed in a Bayo Arts style by American Richard Hunt, was recreated by Solar. The finished statue and island really are a sight to behold, a fantastic addition to the server, and I can't wait to see it on a wider scale as part of the Neuburg project, sitting there in the harbour as we're going in. Now, a lot of builders at the moment have been using the Bobby mod on our server, which allows an extension of the render distance, so we're going to be seeing some screenshots where this statue is very prominent across the backdrop of Neuburg. In at number 6, we have the Lyford Royal Opera House and Conservatory, built by Akira and Goblin, two names that have popped up quite a few times already in this list. This stunning work of glass and steel can be found in the Whitehall section of Lyford and is complete with a collection of palms inside the glorious glass house. It was featured in a recent Christmas pub crawl series and saw the group interacting with a strange green man. It's not a statue.
It's like a,
Oh, anyway, you can go check that out. The whole playlist for the pub crawl videos is up there in a little card on the screen now. Anyway, here's what the builders have to say about it. The Royal Opera House sits here in the heart of Chalkgate. The Opera House opened in 1850 following an extensive fire that gutted the previous premises. A new conservatory was opened next to it that houses the opera bar and restaurant, which is also open to the public during non-show times. And inside here, like I said, there is a glorious palm garden, a palm house, and you can just feel the tropics as you come in to grab your drinks, sit down, have a coffee in amongst the smell of just palm. It's beautiful. I love it in here. It's a lovely atmosphere, a complete building. It's honestly a great achievement of just what can be done at this scale with a selection of blocks that, when you look at it, you go, wow, that looks like a massive greenhouse. You get up close, you realise all the intricacies of it. It's just undeniably subtle. In at number 5, we have the steeple, also known as the National Monument of Whiteburg, built by Goblin and myself. This building was actually originally started off as a side project between Goblin and myself. We started it back in 2022, but never finished that little side project off at all. Maybe one day we will do. It was quite a fun little build. But in June last year, myself and Goblin decided to bring it across into Whiteburg City and place it at the head of the Mall, and doing so garnered such amazing views that it was definitely the right idea to do. The building itself doesn't have a real life counterpart. It is just a figment of somebody's imagination. Now, the person that designed it was an artist called Andrew Igmanels, who painted this picture known as Hawksmoor's Dream. Now, Hawksmoor's Dream actually features a collection of building elements and designs of the late Nicholas Hawksmoor. I say late, he's been dead for over 300 years. But he is obviously the famed English Baroque architect. So this building itself is a collection of English Baroque motifs and styles, and is a cathedral to architecture. It sits here in its own public gardens, surrounded by a huge parkland, and it lords over the whole city, being one of the tallest buildings on the entire server, and now a complete feature piece for Whiteburg City. And I just think it's one of my best buildings ever, and I really had fun building it with you, Goblin, so thank you so much for that. In at number 4, we have the City of Yazd, built by FabbySwah, a newer build on the server, and the first one to feature any inspiration from the Middle East. This location was also featured on a recent Christmas pub crawl episode. You can check that out on the card above. Now, Fabby has said about this place, Yazd, one of the longest inhabited areas in the Greater Middle East and Terror. Centred around the 14th century Yahim Mosque, the Friday Mosque, this city is a great place to visit, to take in the ancient architecture. Drink some tea in the Black Cat restaurant, a 17th century mansion, formerly belonging to a Silk Road trader, but currently a tea house, with rooftops overlooking the mosque, the mausoleum of the founder of the city. A key feature in Yazd are the bagir, or the wind catchers. These towers are built to catch higher winds, transporting them into homes, combined with underground aqueducts, which are called quants, which supply the desert city with fresh water from the surrounding mountains. These wind towers keep the houses cool through the searing summer heat as an early way air conditioning, and they actually still exist in real life and are used ostensibly across the Middle Eastern desert. Now, I can't wait to see where this project goes, because it is just so ultimately different to anything we've had on the server before. So this year is going to be a great year for the outlying inspirational places we just haven't seen before, such as we've already had the Japanese build on this list, and now we have a Middle Eastern build as well. Let's see what happens next year. We may even get some African builds in here. So in at 3rd place, we have the magnificent Chateau de Meudon, built by Solar and Akira. It's safe to say that anything Akira touches seems to make its way onto the list in the top 10 builds. We'll have to see if next year's the same, but I definitely would put money on them to be featured in next year's list. Anyway, this massive French chateau and gardens is one of the crown jewels of France here on the server, and this is what the builders have to say about it. Chateau de Madone represents the prototypical idea for a French Baroque estate. The interesting composition of the site, which heavily utilises oblique sightlines and changes in elevations, drew Akira and Solar to undertake this collaborative project. At present, over 100 acres of ground have been built, including the old and new chateau, the stables, and extensive formal gardens. The duo intends to continue expanding the estates and gardens into the future, linking the estate to Paris environs and other iconic chateaus. Well, we'll have to see what comes of that. I know there's some stuff in the works. Fabulous stuff. Cannot wait to see how these gardens grow over the next few months, because 100 acres, I mean, it's incredible. Absolutely mind-blowing. And now, moving on to second place, we have the outstanding OPir ocean liner terminal and docks, built by the wonderful Wobex. Just breathe in all that detail and scale as I tell you what he's written to me about the builds. The dock terminal in OPir stands as a grand Beaux-Arts masterpiece, where the prestigious SS Belle Epoque is moored. Overlooking the European Sea, it combines tradition and progress, offering an opulent voyage through the seas. This terminal epitomizes the Empire's elegance, while the SS Belle Epoque promises an extraordinary journey marked by artistry and refinement. Wub, this whole city is a credit to you as a builder. The details, the depths, the overall life this place has. I cannot wait to see more of this over the coming year. It seriously is one of my favourite places on the server. And of course, you at home can see more of this when we tour around it in future server update tours, which happen currently now at monthly rates, so make sure you check out January's edition, which will be out by the end of the month. Now, before we move on to see who's taken the top spot as the best build on the server, as voted for by our builders for 2023, let's have a look at 5 honourable mentions. So we have the Pulitzer Building, built by Solar. So the Pulitzer Building, also known as the New York World Building, was an early skyscraper on Newspaper Row. In a plot on City Hall Plaza, presented the challenge of constructing a detailed facade on an unwieldy angle. Despite this challenge, no detail has been spared. The grand entrance portal and 6-story dome are some of the structure's architectural highlights, and I do love this building so much. I had a go at building it about 10 years ago nearly now. Mine didn't come out anywhere near as good as Solar's version. So Solar, excellent building. It just had to be mentioned on this list. Also to mention, the Marble House, built by Akira. This luxury Newport cottage was built as a gift for Albert Vanderbilt in 1892. It's architecturally remarkable because of its countless rooms in all sorts of different styles. It's also one of the earliest examples of the Beaux-Arts architecture in the United States, and it's a glorious place to walk around Akira. We have featured it in one of the earlier server update tours from last year. We also need to mention the Augustusburg Palace, built by Shiro, a German Baroque palace from the 17th century with extensive gardens and a beautiful town of Brühl built off the back of it. It really is one of those places you just want to wander around and soak in all of the vibes. Also need to mention the OPir Royal Opera House, as built by Wobex. While this building isn't finished, the facade of it really is outstanding. So many details in here, and once finished and populated around, this will be a feature piece of the city. And our final honourable mention is Zandvoort, Flemish Countryside, built by Aussie. So, the Flemish Countryside region is an ever-expanding landscape, including the towns of Rikkerveld, Zandvoort and Velhoek. The estates of Bredels and Belhoef and the Rikkerveld Castle are, and most importantly, the city of Oostend. The area mainly exists out of farmlands and forests. The windmills shows you are in the United Lowlands. It has a rail network connecting every town to bring the workers to the city for the work while remaining to live in the countryside, as explained here by Aussie. And finally, in first place, the best build of 2023, as voted for by the Terra 1912 builders, is Pismo Boromo on Isabella. This beautiful Italian island palace as being built by Solar Centurion on an ungodly number of angles. So Solar has written me this little blurb about his build. The Pismo Boromo is a crown jewel of Isabella, an elegant palace that combines bombastic Baroque splendour with charming and intimate spaces that integrate architecture with gardens. Solar has been meticulous with every aspect of the project, from constructing most of the island on a range of challenging angles to making each tree match its real-life counterpart down to the branch. Solar adds, "I am honoured that the Terra 1912 build team has voted this project their favourite of the year 2023. 2023 has been a year of unprecedented growth and collaboration from the build team. It has been a joy to see the fantastic projects produced this year, and I cannot wait to see what the future brings." And I think Solar really sums it up there. This year has seen the server grow from strength to strength, and when I look back at the first one of these videos I produced in 2020, it's clear to me we have improved and grown so much as a build team. So, what was your favourite build of 2023 from our server? Was it featured on this list? If not, let me know in the comments below, and we can go through and see exactly what you guys thought was the best build of the year. But still, for those builders that have been featured on this list, please let them know below how much you love their builds, and I cannot wait to show you guys this year's one, because 2024 is going to have some amazing projects on it. Now remember, until next time, get inspired, get building, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.